When I was in high school, I, like any other high schooler, had no clue as to what I wanted to be when I grew up. Sure, I cycled between ideas like marine biologist, herpetologist, textbook illustrator, and even high school English teacher and professor. But I never once considered the field that I now am entering. The very field where the air smells of pungent food, sanitary wipes, and sterile surfaces. Where gloves must be worn for nearly every task, and where backbreaking labor occurs 24/7 every day, regardless of whether it's a holiday or not. Yes, I'm referring to the field of nursing, the very field that my aunts, cousins, uncle, and even my own mother are in. And with that said, the very field that I had initially felt the most pressured into. When I enrolled my senior year of high school, my aspirations were to become an English professor. And to this day, the image still warms my heart. But I very soon found it wasn't truly the path I wanted to follow in life. So then I had to take a step back and ask myself, if not English, then what? And soon I heard a voice in the back of my head that whispered, healthcare. And after all those years of adamantly refusing it, I decided to give it a chance. Soon after making that decision, I began volunteering at Piedmont Columbus Regional. And with the help of my mom, I was able to start volunteering in the intensive care unit. Now for a bit of background on the ICU. Because of poor experiences with previous volunteers, the department started blocking volunteers. And for the past 6 years, only a handful of them, with parents who also work in the ICU, were able to gain access to it. Needless to say, I was very much apprehensive and excited for my first day. It would not only help determine whether my heart truly beat for the medical field, but it would also help determine whether volunteers behind me would be able to volunteer in that very same department. In a sense, I'd be setting the standards for those volunteers. So for my first day, in the beginning, it was uneventful. I spent the majority of my time following around another nurse and learning from her, and I learned wave upon wave of information that nearly swallowed me up. I recorded every bit of it in my journal, which became my prime activity whenever I had nothing else to do. But after a few hours of that, I started seeking something more exciting, something more exhilarating. It was around that time that one of the physicians announced that he and another doctor would be performing a tracheostomy with bronchoscopy to insert a breathing tube in one of the patients. Needless to say, I rushed over to that room. And I couldn't prevent myself from grinning the entire time. Arguably, I was also afforded one of the best viewing positions because one of the nurses had asked me to record times for the procedure on the whiteboard that was in the room. Now, during that procedure, I felt neither disgust nor fear. Instead, I felt immersed. And instead, I was eager to see more. It was from those moments that I knew I was meant for the medical field. That maybe the field that everyone had told me to enter wasn't such a far-off choice after all. And more specifically, I discovered that I wanted to be a nurse practitioner. From my experiences in the ICU, I can now say that one of the most remarkable moments of my life was discovering what I wanted to do with my life and truly feeling it in my heart.